Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to the Sound Test Room. So, today I'm going to review Vangelis, Vangelis' album, Beaubourg. Beaubourg. So, let me tell you, this is not an easy album to listen to, in any way whatsoever. So, two tracks, Beaubourg Part 1, Beaubourg Part 2, released in 1978. Okay, so let me tell you the story of how I first heard Beaubourg. Back in the day, probably 1980, I was at a friend's house, massive Rick Wakeman fan, prog rock fan, Vangelis, Jean-Michel Jarre, all the keyboards, great user, brilliant keyboard player. And I was perusing his album collection, and as you see, I was already aware of Albedo 0.39, Spiral, and Heaven and Hell, which I will also review in the future, Beaubourg. So Beaubourg, I was perusing the album collection there, and all the usual stuff's there, and on up pops Beaubourg. And I said, oh look, Vangelis Beaubourg, what's this like? You know, I haven't heard any star now, you won't like it. He said, I don't like it, it's a bit odd. It's a bit weird. I said, well, put some on. He says, no, I don't want to play this. And he says, but you can borrow it. No. Anyway, so I took it home. And of course, at this point, I'm thinking, well, it can't be that bad. He didn't even want to play a track, you know. It can't be that bad. It can't be really bad. So I got home and I put it on, you know. I think maybe, well, the mate was with me as well, Tony. And I think we listened to it and maybe got through 5 minutes before we went, oh no, can't deal with this. What's this? What's he doing here? What's going on? What's the crack? You know, we've had the brilliance of Albedo 0.3, Spiral, Heaven and Hell. What's this? Rubbish. So that was it. And that was what, like 1980, maybe 81, that happened. And I honestly, seriously, have not listened to that album since then. Until yesterday. I listened to it last night through the headphones. And yeah, so why did I buy it now? Because I didn't buy it then. So why did I buy it now? Well, it was part of on eBay. I found some Vangelis albums and stuff. As a job lot, you know, for a good price. I mean, it's probably less than a tenner. These albums are like mint. You know, I was very lucky to find them. And Beaubourg was one of the four albums anyway. And not Albedo wasn't there. I think the other one was China. But anyway, so it's Beaubourg there. So I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, well, you know, I can't really remember. And look at this, look at it. It's like brand new. Seriously. I'm not even sure if it's ever been played. Well, it has been played now because I played it last night. And like I said, it's an album, it's an experimental album. It's an album it's basically just an album of noises. And Vangelis recorded it pretty quick. I think in some interviews it took about a month to record it. And there's no real melodic content. There's a lot of special effects. I guess it may be 2 or 3 CS80s, maybe probably some other stuff, but it's mainly the CS80. And it uses a lot of the ring modulation stuff on that synth. But it's a difficult album to listen to. It's not easy. It makes you work to listen to it. I listened to the whole thing and I'm really pleased that I did because I appreciate it now a lot more, being older and being able to understand what it's about. So basically Vangelis visited Beaubourg, which is a district of Paris. Spent some time there. Zipped back to London to Nemo Studios, his recording studios in London, and basically recorded his thoughts of the district of Beaubourg, which resulted in the album Beaubourg. Now it must have been, even he said he was pretty brave to release that album, even braver to take it to RCA. Can you imagine? Well, unless you've heard it, you can probably listen to some of this on YouTube. You know, it's probably not. Actually, I've got another job lot coming, and I've got this album coming again, so I'll put it on eBay to sell them. Can you imagine that going into the guys at RCA would have put this on and probably said that, well, what is it? What? No, it's my new album. But V, dude, we want, I'll pay to 0.39, we want another Spiral. Oh, I'd want to release this. And in another interview, I think he actually said that people actually bought the album and actually retained it to him, you know, because they were so, I don't know if the word, I think disgusted would be a bit strong, but maybe surprised or disappointed if they were expecting your normal kind of Vangelis from the 70s, which was, you know, a lot more accessible. The Beaubourg is not an accessible album at all. It's not even an album you could put on in the background because it would just scare people. It would disorientate people. And I would suggest if you listen to Beaubourg, don't listen to it if you're in a bad mood. Don't. Bad mood would be bad to listen to Beaubourg. Very bad. Very bad. It would make you feel worse. Listen to it if you're extremely happy, because it'll probably drop your happiness a little bit if you're not expecting it. But if you listen to it at the right frame of mind, and the right frame of mind will be, I'm going to listen to this of what it is meant to be. It's an album of experimentation and sounds. You're going to like it, you know. You don't have to listen to it. I did it in one hit. And actually, funnily enough, I did listen to Albedo 0.39 first, and then listen to Beaubourg. And strangely enough, finished off the evening listening to Carly Simon. Hey, there you go. But Beaubourg needs to be approached in a certain way, and it needs to be appreciated in a certain way. It's nothing. I can't even slap a genre on Beaubourg. It's definitely Vangelis. You can hear that it's Vangelis. Because if you're familiar with any of his other stuff, you know, if he does effects and things, you're going to recognise that kind of very distinctive Yamaha CS80 synthesizer sound, the kind of effects and stuff, the ring modulated stuff, but without the musicality and the melodic content. So yeah, it's kind of like that, but it's an enriching and rewarding experience if you can get through the whole thing and actually enjoy it. And I did. I loved it. And it's a weird thing that it's taken this long, 30 odd years, for me to actually even listen to the thing again. And only the fact that I didn't even set out to buy it. Just that it was part of a job lot that I bought of Vangelis albums, and it was there, and I thought, well, you know, I could probably stick it back on eBay and sell it again. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna keep it. Not the fact that it's in mint condition, but the fact that it was really enjoyable to listen to. I really enjoyed it. It was really good fun. And yeah, so, but gosh, yeah, it's there's so much. There's a lot of stuff you could say about Beaubourg, and you know, a lot of it would be bad. Most people don't like it. A lot of people now are saying that, well, yes, you know, it's an installation piece. It's classic. It's bullshit. It is what it is. It's an experimental album. Like you said, you can't chill out to it. You can't put it on and listen. It's best to listen to this on your own as well, because other people will just laugh at you. Or listen to it through the headphones, you know, because they won't get it, especially if but people just don't get it, you know. They don't get it because it's not Chariots of Fire, is it? Or, you know, it's not Alpha or Pulsar or something like that. It's not China. So that's why it's best if you listen to it on your own and see if you like it or not. The chances are, first listen, that you probably won't, but please don't wait 30 odd years before you give it another shot, which is what happened to me. I would have, of course, but back then, what was I, maybe 16, 17 years old? I I'm listening to like pop music then, you know, rock music. I was in a band. We were going to be we were going to be famous, you know. We never were back. But yeah, but approach Beaubourg like this. Listen to it as a piece of, you could listen to it as a piece of art, I suppose. It is. Oh, all music is art though, isn't it, you know, I suppose. Well, not all music, of course. But yeah, it's good. I couldn't even say to you if you like classical, you'll like Beaubourg. It's nothing like that. It was a big thing to release, and you know, thank God that RCA Victor did put it out, you know. And I have no idea. I tried to do some research on the sales figures to see how much I couldn't really find anything. I did find some interesting stuff about it, which is about what he said about Beaubourg. So actually, what he says is he said, I'll quote. This is what Vangelis quote from that interview. It says, "I went there 2 years ago at Beaubourg. I went there 2 years ago. I visited the entire area and I was very impressed. I returned to London and I recorded my album Beaubourg quickly, spontaneously. So I felt Beaubourg, but that does not mean that Beaubourg is only this. I can redo Beaubourg in 30 different ways." So I suppose that people might have liked Beaubourg to have been more commercials or not so much commercial, accessible. But you know, this is the Vangelis we're talking about here, and I don't think he has any interest in commerciality whatsoever. He certainly has no interest in doing concerts and stuff. Hates doing things like that. I mean, the guy's born in 1943, still producing music now. Genius soundtracker. Pretty much records everything just on the fly. You know, so very clever. I'm not sure he can read music. I don't think he can, which was remarkable. So he's kind of records like that. I mean, he's obviously got some musical knowledge. You have to have, wouldn't you? 52 albums, something like that. Huge career over 50 years. Incredible. And Beaubourg is part of the whole thing, you know. So in that respect, it's important. But yeah, give it a shot. You may be quite surprised. You may actually like it as well. Stick your comments in the comments box. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, guys. If you did like the video, subscribe to the channel. Or you could go to I'll put a link in. I've got a couple of albums on what's it called, Bandcamp, and one of them is an album called Projects, which is my interpretation. They're not covers. My interpretation of bands that I like, the Vangelis and Tomita, Genesis, John Carpenter, stuff like that. But there's another album on there called Flicker, which is 4 longer pieces of electronic music, and kind of like, if you like Jean-Michel Jarre, Vangelis, Tangerine Dream, blah blah blah, you'll probably like that. It's all synths and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. But check it out. Hey, you know, it's only a couple of quid if you want to buy it, but you can listen to it for free anyway. See if you like it. But I'll stick a link in anyway. Also, I'll stick a link into mine and Colin Powell's Bandcamp as well, as we do. So kind of prog rock stuff. We like that. It's pretty cool. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Visit us at thesoundtestroom.com as well, where me, Colin, and Jacob and John will help you out with different things if we can. Alright, guys, I'll see you later. Go and listen to Beaubourg. Top job.